Hey, how you doing? I want to talk about WooCommerce websites. Not about how you build them, because we've got videos and site tutorials on that. But what I mean is when you are doing a WooCommerce website, or a client is as well, often it's very easy to go, yeah, I just want a shop website. Yeah, I'll have some products, whatever. And you start thinking about, yeah, okay, we're going to build it and get started. There are some questions you need to be asking your client and yourself before you build any of these, because if you don't get them sorted out now, it can affect the amount of time and effort required to build the shop and also how you cost it. Let me explain. Client number one wants a shop website, and they know exactly what they want, and they've got all the resources and information you need, and there's 10 products. And you're going to build some of them out for them or whatever. You roughly know how long it's going to take, the cost, the resources, the time, the effort. Client number two wants a shop website, but they don't have any of the resources. And if you just go and cost it exactly the same as client one, are you now going to be doing triple, quadruple the amount of work and effort, but not get paid any more? And you might say, well, it's a shop website. I don't care if it takes 1 day or 4 days. Actually, it matters. Because if you charge the same cost for an e-commerce website, and one website takes 1 week and another one 4 weeks, you've undervalued yourself, right? Why would you get paid the same amount of money for 4 times the work? So here's some things you really need to think about before you build a shop website. What kind of products are they selling? Actual products, virtual products, downloadable products. Now, the reason why I say that is because if it is tangible products that are going to get dispatched and delivered, you need to make sure you're collecting the address details, which you would get as standard in the WooCommerce checkout. But if it's a virtual and a downloadable product, do you need to know the address? And we've got videos, go and do a search for it on code snippets with regards to how you can add a snippet, and it now for virtual or downloadable products removes the address fields. You know, if someone is like purchasing like a PDF or whatever, or an ebook or something, you don't really need their address, right? You just need the name and maybe the facility for them to set up a username and a password so they can log into their account and download the product, right? So have a think about that. What kind of product is it? Now, sticking on the address details, what about shipping? Is it free shipping, paid shipping? Does the cost of the shipping vary depending on location in the world? Is it just United Kingdom? Is it United States? Are there going to be some locations you won't deliver to for whatever reason? And then that links on to tax rates. So are they paying VAT? So if you're in the UK, will you be charging for that or not? Is your shipping taxed? Is the product taxed? Is there no tax? And even right now, right at the start, you're probably going, what? Our client ain't going to know that, let alone yourself. But you got to have those discussions now. Because when you're setting up the website, and you're setting up the WooCommerce bits and pieces, you want to get them right first time. What you don't want to do is set them up and then go back and revisit later on, or revisit in a month or two's time because you've moved on from the job, but the client goes, the tax or this or, whatever. So you want to kind of ask those questions now. And remember, if you're speaking to a client and they want to build a website, they might turn around and say, well, you should know. Well, actually, no. It is not for us to know, because every company, where they're based in the world and how they're set up, is unique, bespoke, different. So I can't just say, yep, every website is going to be taxed for this and here's your shipping rate and whatever. I don't know the weight. I don't know what fulfillment, or I don't know how you're dispatching your products. So have that conversation with them. And if you start to detect that they're on the ball, they know what they're doing, they know how they're going to deliver, you know that even though there might be a charge for some features or whatever, you can build for them and you know you're going to have a great working relationship. If they don't have any insight, no idea, no clue, and they're like, well, you work it out, that's fine, but then you make sure you charge for that. You make sure that your cost reflects the extra time and effort you're going to spend doing it. So I'm not saying you don't go, oh, well, I don't want to work with you because you don't know what you're doing. No. You can still work with them, but what you do is you now price it up accordingly, okay, with what you're going to do. Now, client 1 and client 2 might be very different in terms of the amount of products. Client 1 might say 10 products. So are you going to do the first 3 and then give them a video telling them how to add the other 7? Are you going to do all 7? Well, if you do, sorry, not all 7, 10. Well, if you're going to do all 10, how do you charge that? When we do a WooCommerce website, we do the first 3 products for free as part of the build. We give them a video on how to do it and we let them decide, are you going to do it yourself or are we going to do it for you? And if we do it for you, what do you charge per product? $10 maybe to set it up. But that's only if they give us all the images, which I'm going to touch on in a moment, and the description and any other variations we need for that. If it's a massively varied product with lots of variations, $10 ain't enough. We'll have to charge a bit more than that. Do they want SEO on that product as well? So if you're using rank math or anything else, you got to do your SEO bits with your keywords and things. Well, you're going to have to charge a bit more for that. You can't just say, yeah, we'll do your product $10, because if they want extra stuff variations and they want SEO, the cost could easily go up to $20, $25. Now, you might say right now, our client is not going to pay that. Fine. You do the first 3 products and you give them a video explaining how they do all the other stuff. And then you let them know that, look, if you come back to us, it will be $20, $25 per product. They have the choice to do that. Just like if you have a client who's got 1,000 products, how are you going to put that in? Are they going to give you an Excel spreadsheet? Because we got a video on that if you want to go and have a look at WooCommerce templates, dummy products, sorry. So how do you, you could give them an Excel spreadsheet that's got all the details in. It's even got links to the images that might be stored on a Google Drive, whatever. The minute you upload that, it will pull everything in. Who's going to go through and check all those 1,000 products? Are you? Well, factor in the time. What are we talking about here? 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 minutes per product for you to check and go through systematically with a checklist. Well, cost it up. Don't just say, yeah, we're gonna do it for the same price as a website where we were building in 3 products. No, 1,000, a lot more time and effort. Which is why when I see solutions out there going, yeah, e-commerce website will do it for like $1,000, no questions asked. Come on, that's just not a realistic model to go with. Now, I touched on the fact about the descriptions. It is massively important that your clients have that written out. And when I say written out, how do they give it to you? Don't accept it if it's on a WhatsApp or a messenger, Facebook Messenger. No, tell them how you want those descriptions and in what format. You don't want them to say, oh yeah, it's on another website, just rip it off there. No, they have to give it to you. And if they're not going to give it to you and you do have to rip it off from somewhere else or reformat it, factor that in. The time, okay? Don't just do it for free. Otherwise, you're undervaluing yourself. The images. If the images are not the right size, and some images are like that, and some are like that, and some are like that, or whatever, you might now have to standardize them in Canva, Photoshop, Photopea, GIMP, wherever. That takes time and effort. Do you have to remove the background? That takes time. Do you have to add in a different background? That takes time. Okay? So if the client doesn't care, fine, you just bung it in as it is, but you make clear to them that, look, if you don't do this, it's going to look like very staggered and scatty and all that. You want it to look good and polished, you got to make it look good and polished. So are they going to do that? Are you going to do that? Is it going to be done jointly or whatever like that? Are you going to pay someone else to do it for you? Well, if there's a cost attached to that and you're subcontracting, make sure you cost it in and the time it takes. You know, if I had to standardize 10 images, probably within half an hour we could get that done. Yeah, okay. We might either do it for free as a one-off or we charge for it, you know, if it's half an hour. 100 products? Well, come on now, that's taking, you know, a bit more time now, right? So make sure you think about that. Sometimes descriptions go beyond just your basic description with text. There might be a table. There might be ingredients if it's food or materials for clothing. Where are you getting that from? Okay, so again, make sure you get all of that information from your client preferably in a Word document, to be honest, and make sure it's really crystal clear what products this relates to. In fact, I sometimes say to my clients, every product item image must be titled accordingly. I don't want images which are like image 1, image 5 and all of that. No, the image title must relate to the product. So when I'm adding it in, if I'm adding it in for them, when I go to add the image, I can just type the title in the media library and I get the images. I don't want to sit there going image 4A29 or even A55, which is ass. I don't want to do that, okay? And like I said earlier, variations. You got to think about your variations and what they are, okay? You don't want to find out later on, oh yeah, there's a blue color as well. Oh yeah, there's a medium size. And then you got to go in and modify that, okay? You want to get all of that information. It's literally like the homework for the client. And if they're not on board with that, if they're like, oh, I ain't got the time for that. You work it out. No. Oh, okay, I'll lie. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. But there's a cost attached to it, and you make clear to them. If they go, why are you charging me more? You have to throw it back to them a little bit and say, well, if a customer said to you they want the t-shirts delivered in a gold, box, like gold plated with a bow on top, and it must be delivered by a limousine, right? Are you going to do it for your standard free postage price or whatever? No, you'll charge them more for that. Why are you charging them more for that? Because there was more effort that went into it. Well, the same thing goes with web design as well. Prices, regular price, sale price. Is the sale price only for a certain period? Is there going to be a coupon? When will the coupon code be applied? Where do the emails go for WooCommerce? What email account are they going to go to? Are there multiple people or one center? And that very nicely leads on to payment gateways. PayPal, Stripe. Well, India, you can't use PayPal, but you could use Stripe. Will there be the express checkout as well for PayPal? So you can use debit, credit cards, same with Stripe. Are you going to have Apple Pay and make sure that's all integrated and built up correctly with your Stripe account? Are you using WorldPay or some other gateway? What are you using? And you need to discuss this with your client. Don't just assume that PayPal will be fine, because some clients don't want to go down that road. Is it going to be bank transfer? What is the system they want to use? And are you going to set that up for them? So in the past, we used to do that, but now we've moved away from that. Well, we moved away from it a long time ago. Because sometimes when you set up a PayPal account for the client, you're having to set it up as the business and then put details in. Stripe, pain in the ass. You got to do all the verification stuff. And you got to then make sure you put in all the director information. Same with PayPal as well. Ownership and all of that. Then you got to wait for it to be verified. Then there might be a question. Then the APIs and all of these secret keys. Why are we, or why were we, or why are you doing that? It's for them to set up their PayPal account and their Stripe and every other gateway. You might put in the plugin. But then I go back to the client and go, right, now I need the API. Now I need this key or that key. Or I need your login to make the connection. Or I give them a video and instructions on how they make the connection. And if they don't want to do that, and they want to give you all the logins, be very careful, and you're going to set all of that up for them, fine. But you charge for that, because the time and effort required sometimes in setting all of this up. Do you know how many people I know when you do a Stripe and then you got to wait for Stripe to verify everything? And then Stripe might even come back and go, actually, we don't like your website URL or whatever. We set up a website for a competition website, but Stripe did not like it because it was a bit of a raffle and the company weren't overly happy by that either. But that wasn't our fault, right? That was the fact that they hadn't, basically the gateway they were using. So it falls on you to sort that out. And now we made very clear a long time ago, no, if you want us to do the connections, there is a bumper price attached to that. Because I'll tell you now, you won't get the payment gateways done in like 1 hour. It can take longer. And until it is working and the payments are going, you're the one responsible for it. So sort that out. Are you doing it? Are they going to do it? And if you are considering a fulfillment center, like maybe someone else is going to pick up the delivery, like Print on Demand or Royal Mail or whoever, UPS, okay? Who sets that up? You or them? I would say they need to, because it's their account with the fulfillment center, not you. If they're going to do it with Amazon, whatever, they need to set that up. They then need to provide you with the API key or the instructions. And I would also recommend that they check that it is compatible with WordPress and WooCommerce. If they say to you, well, I know a friend of mine uses Royal Mail, fine. How is that going to be integrated? And if they go, well, you can work it out. No. If they make a decision to use Amazon Fulfillment Center, does Amazon Fulfillment Center have the instructions, they do by the way, to connect to WordPress? And make sure you see those instructions before you agree to anything, because it might not be a plugin. It might not even be a simple whatever snippet or whatever. It might require you to do loads of stuff on the back end of WordPress and File Manager. And you've got to add in a folder and then dump this in and then dump that bin in, bit of FTP and all of that. Are you prepared to do that? So make sure you know what you're working with and keep a record of stuff you do as well. So that in future, if someone says, yeah, I'm going to use Amazon, you remember your notes. Was it easy? Did it take a long time? 4 days, 5 days, 1 hour, 30 minutes? So you can cost accordingly for that. Now, I'm pretty sure you're thinking, what? I just wanted to sell a keyring. If you don't ask yourself or your client these questions and you discover them along the way, it could disrupt what you're doing or when you thought where the finishing line was or how long the job was going to take. And there's nothing worse than going back to your client later on and going, right, okay, we said it was going to be $2,000. Now it's $2,500 because of extra work. The client might throw it back and go, well, hold on. You said you would set all these up. I don't care if PayPal is taking longer or whatever, or Stripe. I don't care if the images need all of this. You said you would do it. You said you would standardize the images. I prefer to go down the line of, here's the basic cost. However, that is assuming that all of your images will be a consistent size. And I tell them the size. Your images must be 500 by 500 pixels. If you want to go with longer images, you can do if you want, landscape, but for consistency, just think about what you're presenting, especially when you see the thumbnail view. So get them to think very long and hard about what they have, what they need, what are you going to do, what are they going to do, time and effort, and the eventual cost. Look, I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. I hope you found the tips in here useful for your next WooCommerce project, and I'll see you soon.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat.